So tell us about how you started, where you grew up, where you from.
So I'm originally here from Houston, born and raised.
What
Did
side?
so I grew up in Second Ward,
Oh yeah,
Magnolia,
yeah.
and then we went to the Valley, South Texas, for a few years. And when we came back, I ended up living in Southwest, which is the Sharpstown area.
Uh huh.
So I went to Sharpstown Middle School and Sharpstown High School, and then from there, I started living life. And then I ended up in the border of Mexico in Brownsville, met my wife, and then one thing led to another. Came back to Houston to my roots.
That's awesome.
What's one memory from your early life that kind of shaped, maybe looking back? You know, sometimes in our early life, we don't realize what the moments that shape us. But now looking back, are there anything that stands out? Like, hey, man, this actually did kind of impact me. Can you think of anything like
My
that?
mom, even though we would always bump heads, and many times, I guess every kid probably says it at some point. Like you hate your parents because they don't understand you, and yada yada yada. But yeah, I think I'm living proof of what my mom was. Probably at a different level because I kicked it up a notch. But she wired me, and I am pretty much like a
Is she
clone of her.
still with us?
No, I lost her 4 years ago.
Sorry to hear that. So he hasn't really got to see, everything that you've
She
built.
she no, she started seeing some of the success I was having, but in the last 4 years, yeah, she didn't see the big growth, right? All the good stuff that unfolded.
Hopefully she's looking down and,
She
and
is,
seeing
and
it.
I know she's helping me. So
Awesome. That's awesome. I want to hear the story.
Well, I want to know, Baloo.
Balu.
Is there a story behind that is worth sharing, or just you don't want to go there? Or
I
what's
mean,
that?
yeah, no, we can elaborate on it because everyone asks, like, dude, we thought you were Arabic, and Balu is like an Indian name, so it makes sense. But no, I'm Mexican, and I don't know Arabic, right? Balu came from previous employees of mine that I had back in Mexico. I used to export 18 wheelers, and they would always complain about how hard I was on them. And if anyone knows Jungle Book, there's a bear, and his name is Balu. Well, this Baloo Bear would take care of the little kid in the jungle because he was protecting him, right? So essentially, that's where the name came. Like, look, he's hard on you, but it's for your well-being, right? And then it just stuck. They made it as a joke, but everyone stopped calling me by my name, and it was Baloo, Baloo. Oh, go get with Baloo. Go ask Baloo this. Like, okay, so they just stuck, and you know what? Till this day, everyone in Houston only knows me by Baloo.
It's got good meaning behind it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny?
Protective bear.
I hang around a lot of Indian people, and they're like, "Dude, Baloo's like a really positive name.
Oh, is
It's
it?
well respected." Yeah, it means bear as well in India, but it also means good person, and I didn't know that.
It all worked out.
Yeah,
So you grew up here in Houston, and we'll get to more into the detail. But thinking back as when you were a kid, are you living anything like you thought you would live back then?
growing up as a kid, from parents that worked hard to provide what we could have, we were, I wouldn't even say middle class. We were trying to get to middle class. But I lived a happy life. I had good parents, and my dad's still with me. I'm blessed to have him in my life and witness everything that I'm building. But I can tell you that I grew up or I was raised to be appreciative of what you have, right? So, a lot of people think that everything that I have, that's life. That's great, man. That's what everybody wants to do, and it's really not, man. It's just materials. It's just stuff, right? Yeah, it's a tool. It helps you. It's cool, but at the end of the day, what matters most is you to be happy in what you're doing for others. Like, for instance, right now, hopefully my story, my background could help someone get out of what they're facing and maybe inspire them to become bigger and better.
I certainly think it will. And, like you said, people see you now. That's one of the things I love about doing the show, having people like you on here that are successful. And people do make their own judgments. And they'll see you and like, he's lucky. If he had the life I had, or if I had the life he had, I would be there too. He just didn't have it as rough as I had it. And that's why I said I love doing the show, because we're going to unfold some of your stories. Like, It wasn't luck, and you weren't handed these things. But it is. I guess it's easier for people to just make a judgment call. He's lucky. Blue's got the fun cars. Like you write you off like you just didn't earn it type of thing. And I think that's the stories that I love to dig into.
Yeah.
So, Blue, how old are you?
Guess.
Oh, he put you on the spot.
29,
Man, you're
30?
so close. You're so close.
31, 28?
44.
Are you 44?
So close.
Really?
Yes.
You know, we did
But thank
this.
you for the compliment.
We did this on the show with Jackie Callan. And
Yeah.
a lady, you're not supposed to ask the lady her age, fine, but we did. I was blown away. She's what,
80
79, fixing to be 80.
79, fixing to be 80.
And she did not.
She
did
looked
not
beautiful.
look. And you do not look 44 either.
Thank you.
So whatever you're doing is working.
Fun fact, my dad, he's turning 85 this year. Everyone that is around me, they're like, dude, how old is your dad? I'm telling them, like, no way. We thought he was like 70. So they're always chipping away like at least 15 years.
So you got good genes.
I hope I
Something's
continue
working.
having these genes. Right?
Nice.
So I'm anxious to know how you got started. Okay, you come up here in Houston, you started working. What was your first job?
Okay. So
First way of making money.
okay. So
If it can be told.
sure, yeah. I mean, I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
But when you say your first job, like it was a Houston Chronicle, right? I was a stacker.
There you
at the
go.
Houston Chronicle and forklift driver, and this was like when I was 16. But if you're talking about making money, it was in the oil and gas field. I started in the refineries, and I started off as a scaffold builder, moved up to an insulator. Then I met some friends in the inspection field, took some courses, got into that. Then I got into management shortly after, and that's when I started making six figures, which is very good money. And we're gonna get down to where I was at one point in time, right? But I was being very wise with this money because I had no choice. I had some experiences in the past that I said I can't ever repeat that again, right? So, and it has to do with habits. It has to do with your circle and so on and so forth.
I don't know what kind of habits you had, but I didn't get a bad habit literally until I was 25, 26. And I had fought for the world championship. I was introduced to something. After that, I had a pocket full of money and running around with a lot of celebrities and stuff. And I started doing things I shouldn't have. That was my habit. And, I'm not, you can tell yours if you want to, or mine. I got involved in things I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. For
You're
sure.
being very cryptic, Termite. I don't know
Okay,
if you want.
I do, because we don't hold anything back. We're here to help people.
Sure.
I had been squeaky clean all my life. All I did is fight, from amateur to pro, and then all of a sudden, I fight for the world championship. I go through a divorce, and all of a sudden, I was introduced to cocaine. And next thing you know, for a 4 or 5 year period, I was just messed up on cocaine all the time. A lot of my friends, they say, "You did that?" I did. I was just a functional addict. And
People didn't know.
People didn't
You
know.
were able to hide it.
I could hide it to most people, but really I just didn't go around a lot of my old friends. I just hated to. And but one day I said enough is enough. And I went cold turkey. I pulled away from it. And I admire everybody that goes and gets help. I probably should have earlier, but I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I got away from it, and I gave my heart to Christ. I started living for Christ.
Amen.
And so that's, that turned my life. All right, you got my curiosity. What was yours?
Pretty close. So I'm going to be all over the place because it has to do with the timeline of my life
Sure.
and experiences, right? But so when I told you I had gone to the valley, south of Texas, border of Mexico, to do a business was exporting 18-wheelers. One of my sister's ex-boyfriends, I don't know, they were 15, very good friend of mine. He always took care of me. he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, man, there's some young guys over here making good business, doing this, doing that. I hate working for them. They suck as leaders. Why don't you come and start a business?" I'm like, dude, I got to get some money. So when I went, I started some money. They showed me the ropes on what to look for on the trucks, what engines. And in South Texas, there's a group of people that are in the same business, but they all support each other. They all hang out. And obviously, I wanted to become successful like they were. And I said, well, I got to associate with these people, right? That's the only way. It's like I have to see what they're doing and learn from them, so on and so forth. But the lifestyle, right, is partying all night, closing the clubs, popping bottles. There was some cocaine involved. There was some weed. I used to smoke weed in middle school and high school. So to me, my quick, like, I'll join y'all with some weed, right? Well, they were at a different level, so they could afford all
They could
these
afford all
hobbies.
that.
I call them hobbies. I was barely making it, but because I wanted to be like them, I said, man, I have to be able to match what they're doing, you know? Being an amateur, not understanding that you can't be overspending, over partying because you're going to be doomed one day.
Yeah.
And then 2009 was when the market crashed, right? And it affected these sales in Mexico. The pesos went up in price, so that means the dollar wasn't worth. The peso wasn't worth as much, so that means they weren't buying any more trucks. And then that's when I was like, oh crap, like, what do I do? So I'm like, hey dude, what are you doing? Oh man, it's okay. It happens. So you just got to hang in there. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna hang in there. But the lifestyle kept going the same. Well, they could afford to go a year, 2 years with the same lifestyle and it wouldn't hurt them because they were very successful. Versus me, I was barely making it. You know, I had barely hit like 6 figures. But because of the lavish lifestyle that I had, and, you know, I was pretty much wiping through my savings.
Just to kind of hang with the crowd.
That's to hang with the crowd to the point where I lost it all, and I ended up on welfare.
Well, that's a good. Let's ring the bell. That ends round one.